Oh God. The Capital One Orange Bowl between Florida State and Georgia. Georgia's I don't know, 50-point favorite by now. What is every time I look, it's the line goes up. What are they, 19.5 now?
I was getting questioned when I hit it at 14. People are like, "Are you sure? It seems like too much." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." Here we go. But hey, if Steam's wrong,
Yeah, you're screwed now. Florida State
but
outright.
I mean,
Georgia's
at the end of this handicap, I want you to tell me what number you take Florida State because I don't even know where I'd take it.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of news here. Florida State. So Florida State as of right now is a 19.5 point dog. Totals down to 44.5. Let's start with Georgia. Bunch of guys in the portal. Let's see. Mekhi Muse, their wide receiver punt returner. I'm just going to name the ones that are kind of important. A couple linebackers, Marvin Jones Jr., Dumas Johnson, who went to Kentucky. Opt-outs, Brock Bowers and Amarius Mims did not travel with the team, so their tackle and tight end, they're also dealing with injuries, will not play. Potential opt-outs, I would say maybe Tate Ratledge, Kamari Lassiter, and Nazir Stackhouse, but they're all practicing and travel with the team. So it looks like Georgia, and Beck confirmed he's going to start and return in 2024. Bullard, Van Pran, they all stated they're going to play. McConkey's dealing with an injury, but he's going to give it a go. So, yeah, I mean, you got Ra Thomas, Julian Humphrey have been dealing with injuries, but it looks like Georgia is going to have most of its roster outside of Bowers and Mims, and then a couple injuries to watch. Now, Florida State, man. All right, so Jordan Travis, as everyone knows, out for the year. Then Tate Rodemaker hit the portal. So third stringer Brock Glenn, who started the ACC championship, and it was a disaster, will start. Let's go through the rest that will be out in Florida State.
Keon.
Yeah. Keon Coleman, starting receiver, opted out. Starting receiver Johnny Wilson, opted out. Starting tight end Jaheim Bell, opted out. Starting running back Trey Benson, opted out. Starting DN Jared Verse, opted out. Starting D tackle Fabian Levitt, opted out. Starting safety Akeem Dent, opted out. Starting cornerback Bernardo Green, opted out. Starting cornerback Jarian Jones, opted out. Their Toa Feely, their running back, had surgery, not on the depth chart. And let's go to the transfer portal. Starting linebacker DJ Lundy, not on the depth chart, portal. Defensive tackle Malcolm Ray, portal, not on depth chart. Offensive tackle Bless Harris, portal, not on depth chart. I'm only naming players that start or play a lot either. Running back Rodney Hill, portal, not on the depth chart. Does look like Joshua Farmer, the defensive lineman. He paused his transfer portal request. He is on the depth chart, so he'll play. But you're talking.
That's no one's offered me any money. I'm coming back to show my skills.
Yeah, 12. Yeah, I know. I saw that. 12, 13, 14 starters out for Florida State, including both quarterbacks, their running back, their tight end, their 2-star receivers, an offensive lineman, almost their entire secondary, almost their entire defensive line, or the best players in the defensive line. This is an absolute shell unit, and they have, Brock Glenn, the quarterback. It's hard. I don't know how to make this number. It's very difficult, but I won't bet Florida State. Though I do worry, now it's good that all these guys are playing for Georgia, because I would normally worry. It's like this is the SEC Dead Fish Bowl, where the team that, lost in the SEC championship, that was, the back-to-back national championships. Now you're going to play Brock Glenn in the Capital One Orange Bowl. Does Georgia care? Yeah, even if they don't care, they probably could still blow this open. But the fact that all these guys are playing shows me that they do care. And Florida State looks like they're checked out. I could only lay it. I don't know if I could recommend laying 19.5 now, but in order to play Florida State, I mean, there's a difference between what I would say and what I would actually do. Like, for me to actually go and bet it.
Hey, you're talking to a guy that thought he was
28. If you give me 28, I'll bet Florida State.
You might get that by the end of the first quarter. Well, you're talking to a guy that thought Eastern Michigan was a cute little play, so I'll see you later to that money. Look, started researching this game. Brock Glenn, we can get into his stats: 21 and 28, no big time throws against Louisville. There's no rushing aspect to his game. I made this stat up in my bull notes and didn't realize that Toafili wasn't on the depth chart. FSU is missing more than 60% of their receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, rushing yards. Like, I think that number might be up over 70% now. This might be the lowest amount of scholarship players on a bowl team in the history of the sport. I would actually like to bet on the over under. I would probably place it at about 47. I don't know. You could name a couple people that are still there. There's a
They
line.
should be playing Texas A&M. That should be the bowl.
Yeah, that'd be a great bowl. That would be worth betting. Now you're right. Carson Beck is back to play. But when I started diving into Georgia and what these guys are playing for, I just can't believe it. Now, the first time I heard a Kirby Smart locker room speech was a couple of years ago. I thought that can't be him. There's no way like this came from him. Then I heard the locker room speech a year ago at the national title game, and I wanted to run through a wall. Now you go and look at these player quotes, and I'm just like, I just kind of laugh. I think you and I talked about on the podcast. Will Kirby convince these guys they're underdogs? So defensive back Tyke Smith, we're playing for one another. We're playing for something bigger than ourselves. And I'm like, well, what are they playing for? Tight end Oscar Delp. We've got something to prove. This could be the winningest senior class in Georgia history. Then Kirby says it, I think, yesterday at the press conference. We told the kids, we've calculated all the math. This Georgia team, this senior class is one win away from beating last year's group and being the all-time winningest set of Georgia Bulldogs in the history of Georgia. He's feeding these kids that they can be the winningest Georgia team in the history of the Georgia Bulldogs, and that's why they're all sticking around. They're all playing for something bigger than themselves. Carson Beck is getting ready for next year. Hey, Nebraska got the Rayola kid, so good for Carson Beck sticking around. But how does Kirby Smart make this shit up? Like, we did the math, and you're going to be the winningest senior class ever in the history of the program. I would say Georgia in the first half, it's at 10.5 right now. That might be a little bit too high considering Georgia sleepwalks in the first quarter. Although if these players are all playing, they're playing for a purpose, and I don't think they're going to take their foot off the gas. So maybe I would halfway split a bet between the first half, full game. I don't see, because of what's going on off the field, a part of me feels like Florida State is trying to opt out of the ACC. That's the biggest opt out. And their ultimate desired goal is to come in and get some of that TV money from Greg Sankey and the SEC. I don't see Kirby Smart stopping here. You want to get into the SEC? You want to be in our league? Let me give you a little reminder about why you don't want to be here facing me every year. I don't see Georgia letting up. The way they're talking, the way they're saying what they need this bowl for, and considering what the talent level that Florida State's putting out there, I don't know.
And just mentally, where's Florida State? They went undefeated, didn't get into the college football playoff, and now they're all about that. What is the effort like leading up to the bowl? Do you think the staff was putting everything into this game? They're out recruiting,
right,
dealing with the fallout from all this, the focus level, and that's excluding the talent. Just coming into this game, even if they had all these guys playing, was going to be a major obstacle for them to overcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a reason this line is continuing to steam up. What number would you play that you need?
Oh, you're at 28. I'd play Florida State in the first half at 14. I would really play the first quarter at 10 because there's a chance that you're right. The coaches haven't been.
Georgia's come out slow all year too.
Right. So I actually might wait. If there's a Florida State 10 in the first quarter, I'd easily scoop that up. I'm not sure if we'll get there. We're at 10.5 for the half. I'm not sure that's enough. But listen, Georgia wants to come out and have 2 lackluster drives in a row. You're going to get a better live number, and that's what they've done all season.
Yeah, what an absolutely gross game.